Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here at HOTDOCS in downtown Toronto with the manager of the Canadian Screen Awards and the founder of the PRISM Prize, CALABRO. How does it feel to be here at HOTDOCS?
I am so happy to be here at HOTDOCS, especially because it is a hot day as well as a hot festival and celebrating hot artists. And yeah, I'm very happy. It's always a great time every year, but it just keeps growing more and more. So very happy, yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. What is the significance of documentary films at the Canadian Screen Awards?
Well, the significance of doc films at the Canadian Screen Awards, it's very important for us to maintain a healthy documentary program, especially considering the tradition of documentary filmmaking in Canada. I think everyone you interview will tell you that Canadians are leaders in this world, you know, right back to the 20s with Nanook of the North, which actually gets mentioned quite a bit for being an old 20s small documentary, a cold documentary too. You know, up until the 40s when we were nominated for Oscars in the doc program and through the NFB's history, it's important for us to maintain that presence and that sort of seriousness about doc filmmaking. It's probably one of the more well, I mean, it's known as a very truthful form of storytelling, although some would argue that, you know, there's a lot of creative and choice at play when you're making a documentary. But it's important for us to continue that tradition and to continue telling the stories of these filmmakers. Yeah. Yeah.
And this year at the Canadian Screen Awards, you had a great range of documentary films, from Sarah Polley's Stories We Tell to many more. Tell me a little bit about the spectrum and, you know, what that's like and the importance of having so many different perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important. I mean, this year was a particularly special year because we combined the Canadian film and TV sections together. So the TV world exists in a sense that there are so many different types of documentaries being shown on TV nowadays. You know, we have history biography docs, we have science and nature docs, we have just, you know, series that will bring in and act as sort of curators to show interesting you know, stories from different parts of Canada, you know, an East Coast section or a territory section. So we have 5 separate doc categories, and this year we awarded a series called D-Day to Victory, which focused on the war. David Suzuki had a documentary film. Paperny won with a film there on the TV side. And there was a film about women who were in the first stage of cancer called About Her that won, and Stories We Tell, as you mentioned. So I mean, a wide range of storylines, including one from Kabul, our short documentary nominee, The Boxing Girls of Kabul, which was a particularly interesting story because Ariel Nazar, who was nominated for that film here with us in Canada, was nominated for an Oscar for a different film that wasn't actually officially Canadian. So, I mean, you know, we went everywhere from the war to modern day illness and you know, personal stories to Kabul. So, yeah.
And Canadians often struggle with the idea of having a sense of Canadian identity and what that means. Do you think that Canadian documentaries in some way are helping to form and inform us as to what our Canadian identity is?
Yeah, it is always sort of a difficult place to find yourself, isn't it? As a Canadian, I think in a sense it helps form an identity of being a very particularly intelligent and careful and traditional storytelling culture. I mean, we are a culture made up of so many stories, and so the doc form actually fits perfectly with the Canadian way. So I mean, in that sense, I think we form our own identity around that passion to tell stories and to get to the bottom of you know of issues around that surround us, to give a voice to the otherwise voiceless, to educate and to inspire. I mean, these are all very Canadian things, right? I mean, we're sitting here at U of T, which is you know, one of the most famous universities here in our country, and I mean, it's a tradition of learning, of giving people this idea of a story, of their story. So I think that's important. That becomes a real kind of identity of its own, almost. Yeah.
And shifting gears a little bit, you're also the founder of the PRISM Prize. What inspired you to do that?
Well, I mean, even before I started managing the Canadian Screen Awards and I studied film, I had this sort of innate, this passion for music. You know, I've been DJing in the city for about 10 years now. I have all my friends are musicians. And so music videos, I felt, were a place in Canada that also had a great tradition, but weren't necessarily supported on all levels. I mean, we have the Much Music Video Awards, which is great. We do a lot of focus and emphasis on major artists and world-renowned Canadian artists. But you know, there's a whole kind of subculture of filmmakers that are working with musicians and doing these really creative short films, and under the sort of guise of a music video. And you know, they don't get a lot of support financially. They don't get a ton of you know, viewership online. So I think a platform like the PRISM Prize was important to give, you know, at least them a little bit of a second, you know, place to be seen, or another place to be seen. So yeah, that was the main inspiration. Also, just so much good stuff, like so much amazing work out there, and great bands. I mean, Canada is, again, you know, documentaries and music. I mean, we're leaders for sure. But so yeah, I mean, I wanted to at least give them a chance to have their stuff to be seen, and I think we've done a good job. Our website is hopefully, one day going to be the place to go to look at music videos. Yeah.
And where is the best place to find out more information on you, the work that you do, the PRISM Prize, and the Canadian Screen Awards online?
Yeah, well, everyone should visit our website for the Academy. That's www.academy.ca. We have gone through quite a change over the last year, as you know, with merging the awards, and one of those changes is to make our website more interactive and, you know, easy to navigate, and with all of the information about the winners and the nominees and where you can find those, because that's key. I mean, you know, it'd be nice if festivals like this existed all the time, and for 10 days we're all really happy to see films, but we can't always see them all the time. So go to the website, we'll show you where to find The Boxing Girls of Kabul and Stories We Tell and those films that were nominated. And then for myself, I mean, the PRISM Prize website as well is a good place to go, www.prismprize.com, and that's prism like the object that refracts light, not like a prison. Yes, okay.
Thank you so much, Louis. Congratulations on all of your success, and best of luck with all of your future endeavors.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here at HOTDOCS in downtown Toronto.